Greetings, Earthlings. Today I'm going to be doing a bit of a different video style. Hi, here's my hands. Hello. Today I'm going to kind of be talking about like foils and kind of your best way to take care of them. Because as a lot of you probably know in the game now, a lot of newer foils have a bad habit of doing what's called pringling, which I'll show you an example right now. This is a foil copy of Port Town that I got in from one of the Doctor Who sets. As you can see, it's foil and it's bent because it usually has to do with humidity and stuff like that. And usually when it gets to that point, it's really hard to get it back from that. So as you can see, it's bent. I'll use an example here. I've got an old foil Cryptgast that is in good condition, minus some old wear and tear. You see it's pretty flat. I have this newer foil here. It's a foil Feed the Swarm that it's pretty flat too. When I first got it in, it was pringled like this Port Town. So what's the best way of taking care of your foils? Well, in my opinion, I've seen a lot of things on YouTube and other social media, and it kind of pisses me off because a lot of people try to say, oh, use heat or, put in moisture. Don't do any of that. Do not do any of that. That is how you that is how you ruin your cards and make them worse. You don't want to apply heat to these because all you're going to do potentially is melt the foil and make it worse. A lot of times when things pringle like this, it's really hard to restore that. And the more you try, the more damage you're going to do. So your best bet, and this is something I do, is you can sleeve it, wrap it before you tap it. Sleeve it, put it in a deck. You can put like a book on it. You could put something heavy on it. Like I have this deck box here that's pretty heavy because I got decks in it. You can use that. You can put it in a book between pages. But personally, my recommendation is put it in a deck. Let it kind of do its thing. It will eventually, as you see from this Feed the Swarm, it will eventually flatten itself out. And it'll eventually be okay. Like, as you can see, this Feed the Swarm has no damage on it. It's near mint. And it came in the exact condition that this Port Town just came in. So, yeah, that's my recommendation. Like, if you guys have had different experiences with that, let me know. But personally, I find just putting the card in the deck, or putting it in a pile of cards if you don't plan on putting it in a deck right away, leaving it in a dry room, putting some weight on it, or even like if you have a deck box, or like I have a deck like case, satchel, whatever, that holds a bunch of decks. You stick your decks in there nice and snug, and they'll kind of put pressure on each other, and eventually the card will just flatten itself out. That's what I've noticed with a lot of these newer foils. Eventually it'll just flatten itself out. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Like I don't want to put down anybody, but don't listen to those who try to tell you all these like magic ways to flatten out your cards. Just put them in a deck, put some weight on them. They'll flatten themselves out over time. You play with them, you do whatever, they'll flatten themselves out. There's no need to threat. It's annoying, I know, especially when you first put them in the deck and it like tries to pringle in the sleeve. Like I'll see if it does it with this. Put this Port Town in this sleeve. Yeah, and as you see, right, it bends the sleeve with it. These aren't cheap sleeves per se, but it bends the sleeve with it. But eventually, just like the Feed the Swarm, because this Feed the Swarm did the same thing. Eventually, it'll flatten itself out, and it'll be fine. So, if you found this video useful, share it with your friends. Let me know. I very much care about the quality of the cards you play with, because, right, you spend money on them, especially if you're buying like expensive cards. Like I've got a Judge foil doubling season that I take I take the best care of as I can. Yeah, if you found this helpful, let me know. Let me know if you want more videos like this, kind of explaining good ways of taking care of cards and making sure they don't get wrecked. Yeah, as I said, dry room, put pressure on them, they'll flatten themselves out. But yeah, like I might make more videos like this with my hands, but we'll see. Yeah, so if you found this helpful, feel free to rap that like button and tap that subscribe button. Practice safe gameplay, and I bid thee farewell and good fortune.